Happening today, a special opportunity to hear from one of our nation's first ever Air Force trailblazers, flying more than 25 different types of military aircraft. She'll be at Seattle's Museum of Flight this afternoon discussing her book about this incredible experience. Joining us right now is author and retired U.S. Air Force Colonel Eileen A. Bjorkman. Thanks so much for being here, Eileen.
Thank you, Farah, for having me on.
Yeah, so you are now in the Everett area, so you are local to us, which is just lovely. Eileen, you put this book together with so much history in it, and you know it took quite some time for women to be allowed to fly in combat. Could you share a little bit about that history and how you saw it unfold firsthand?
Yes, so I came in the Air Force in 1980, and at that time women had been flying for the Air Force for about 4 years, flying in regular aircraft, support aircraft, that kind of thing. And I became a flight test engineer. I flew in the backseat of various aircraft, and I was able to fly in the backseat of fighter airplanes because they were considered test airplanes, not actual combat aircraft. But I knew many women that wanted to fly in combat aircraft and weren't given that opportunity. And so I just kind of watched through the 80s as women were gradually allowed to fly more and more types of aircraft and types of missions that started to border on combat. And then the Persian Gulf War in 1990 to 1991 really opened the public's eyes that hey, women are actually already flying pretty much in combat. Yeah. And so legislation got passed that lifted a law that forbid women from flying in combat. And we all thought that, okay, that's it, women are going to get to fly in combat aircraft now. But it took a couple more years. There was a lot of shenanigans and a study and all kinds of things that went on to try to keep women out of combat aircraft still. But then the Clinton administration in April 1993 opened the door. We were all obviously very, very happy. Didn't help the older women. They were the ones that pushed the door open, but it helped the women that came behind them. Yeah.
Now, overcoming barriers of inequality in terms of, a woman's skills or training for flying went beyond that. Did you have experiences with sexual harassment or know of any of your fellow service members who went through that? Oh
yes, quite a few of us went through some of that. A lot of it was pornography, displaying pornography in inappropriate places, making inappropriate comments,
making women uncomfortable.
Yeah, making women uncomfortable, and a lot of women dealt with that through humor. They started like hanging up Playgirl centerfolds and things.
Oh.
Kind of made the guys think twice. I had a superior who was making inappropriate remarks in the workplace at one time. It was very frustrating. But then one of my peers actually made him feel embarrassed one time when he made a remark to me. He kind of made fun of him, and he stopped bothering me after that. So.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yes.
Now, everyone will be able to see Eileen at 2 o'clock this afternoon at the Museum of Flight. What words of encouragement would you give to young girls or young women who are interested in becoming pilots?
I think there's no better time to become a pilot now, especially if you're a woman. The military services and the airlines have all realized that, hey, if we're going to solve our pilot shortage, we've got to cast a wider net. And so this is a great time, whether you learn to fly at your local airport or you go to a military academy or go through ROTC. The airlines have their own academies that they're starting. There's all kinds of opportunities for scholarships, women in aviation, women in military aviators. Just the list goes on and on. So I would say go for it. This is a great time to be in aviation.
All right. Well, museumofflight.org has all the information you'll need for today's presentation by Eileen Bjorkman at 2 o'clock there at the museum. Thanks again for being here.
Thank you, Farah.